the recording. Thank you. I am Toastmaster Noha, your moderator for today's session. The presentation for this session is for VP membership. On behalf of the organizing team, I welcome the presenter, distinguished Toastmaster Ola Rasheed. Timing criteria for today's session. So the timing criteria for today's session will be 45 minutes, followed by a 15 minutes question and answer session. The green card for the main session will be displayed at 35 minutes. The yellow card will be displayed at 40, and the red card will be displayed at 45 minutes. For the question and answer session, at 10 minutes, we will display green. At 12 minutes, we will display yellow. And at 15 minutes, we will display red. At the end of the session, the attendance sheet will be published in the chat box, requesting you all to fill the same. Thank you, and over to you, our lovely presenter.
Thank you so much, our lovely timer Toastmaster Noha. Good evening for all the amazing Vice President of Membership. Hopefully, your journey has been a successful one till now, and I wish you an amazing journey for the rest of the term. Before I start, just a small brief. I have been a Toastmaster for almost 6 years, and to be honest with you, I've never been a VPM, but I have been a Vice President for Education 3 times and twice as a President. So by default, I have a background about the VPM part. I would love, if possible, for all of you. Now, even if I will share my screen, maybe I won't be able to share it with you, but I would love this session to be an interaction session. I don't want to just to tell you an information. Actually, I would love to have an interaction session with all of you. So anytime you would love to comment on something, or if you would love to share an information based on your own experience as a Vice President of Education, you are most welcome. I just wanted to ask, is there any person just talk in the middle of the term, someone maybe resign and someone in your person will take it, or all of you have already Zahra. So Zahra Muhammad, you have just became a VPM for this. Okay, I can see 3 participants. Okay, that's good. I love this part. So hopefully the session will be very useful for all of you. So for the presentation now, just a few my presentation. You can see my presentation?
Yes.
Okay, that's perfect. Okay, so I would love to welcome all of you over again, Vice President of Membership. This presentation will be divided, just a second. Just having a problem, and okay, that's perfect. So in this presentation, we will speak about the 3 topics. The first part, we will speak about what is the role of the Vice President of Membership, what are the responsibilities that you have to do, and what kind of resources that you can use to help you to fulfill your responsibilities as a VPM. After this session, you will be aware of your own role. You will know that you can use. So before I start and share anything, I would love to hear from you, especially for the people who have been a VPM maybe multiple times, maybe not the first time. Generally, what is the role of the Vice President of Membership? I can't see you, but I can hear you. So please just open the mic and speak. Yes, Sandy.
Hi, Ola. So
Hi.
the Vice President Membership is the person who is in charge of increasing and maintaining the membership of the club.
That's
To put it-
perfect.
To put it simply, yeah.
Okay, that's perfect. And one word that Sandy shared with us is to maintain. Sometimes when we become a VPM, we forget about the current members. We forget about that we need to fulfill their needs. We need to let them achieve their own goals. And we just think about how we can get new members. If someone else would love to share their experience about being a VPN, about the role, so what do you think is the role of the VPM as well? It's not only to maintain the members, it's not only to get new members, what else? Is there anyone has anything would like to share?
Yes, I think VPM should be an ambassador to Toastmasters. Some of the role is very closely to PR, VP of Public Relations, because you have to speak a lot about the values and the image of Toastmasters.
That's correct. That's an amazing point that you have shared. This is a very important thing. You need to work as a PR. Actually, you need to work with the Vice President of Relationship, because your part is not only to get people, but actually to market your club to the people. So they will be interacted or intimidated to visit your club and to attend the meetings. So this is in a nutshell what is the role of the VPM. Now, what are the responsibilities of the VPM? Now, there are responsibilities. You need to do it in the club. You need to do it outside the club. I need to do it with the executive committee as a part of that team, who are the pillars of any club in Toastmasters. Now, let's start with the club itself. Now, of course, as a VPM, you do have certain responsibilities. You need to do it before starting the meeting, during the meeting, and after the meeting. Now, before to get more in details and go to the next slide, I would love to know from you, what kind of responsibilities you think you need to do before the beginning of the meeting as a VPM? And just to please, if you can open, because as I already mentioned, I can't see you.
Yeah, you need to greet guests.
Before the meeting, Sandy.
Oh, before the meeting.
Yes.
So, so send out messages to your members and to possible members, giving them the information for the meeting so they can come.
Great. That is a great thing. Yes. We need to send a message as a reminder for the members and the guests that we already have. What else? What kind of thing? Yes.
To record the apologies from the members if they are not going to attend the meeting.
Okay, yes. Yeah. Yeah, please continue.
Just to, yes, please. That's my point. I mean, just to, because he has to officially announce the apologies from the members into the meeting. So before the meeting, he has to record.
Yes. So if they are announcing that thing, that you will put it in the record, you as a PPM. So later on, you will try to invite these people, especially there are a few main members and guests who do not attend that much. So you need just to try to let them feel they are welcomed, maybe every single time to send them messages. That is a valid point. Who would love to share?
Hi, Vijay
Yes,
Bhatia.
hi. Yes.
Well, before the meetings, in fact, you would already have some of the guests, you know, who are the prospects kind of thing, whom you have already invited. So I would just phone them up and talk to them. And at the same time, we have the agenda ready 1 day before, 2 days ready before. So I would, you know, myself forward it directly to their email so that they are aware, you know, what is going to be held in the meeting, or give them little more information and re-invite them or remind them to come to the meeting at so and so time.
That's a
and so on, so
beautiful point.
place.
Yeah, that is a beautiful point. And you can see that the VPM not only helping the VPR in the part of marketing for the club, but at the same time helping the VPE, the Vice President of Education, in sharing the agenda with everyone. So that is really very nice. Anyone would love to share something? Maybe you do it because, you know, in Toastmasters, it is all about innovation, creativity. It's not, we don't really need to follow everything you just mentioned in the rule book. So maybe if someone is doing something you have initiated as a Toastmasters, anyone would love to share their experience if you have any?
Yes, ma'am.
Talk to the members. I am Srinivas Kauru, TKS Toastmasters Club.
Welcome.
Talk to the members if they are what they feel about this club, and what any suggestions to improve. And are there any friends with them who can be invited for the next meeting? This is one point which we can do.
That's a correct point, but I do believe this point, it can be done after the meeting itself, and we will go much long with it. Just let me, I do believe you have already answered the question about what to do. So here's a few ideas to make a list of the new members, okay? Because you as a VPM, not only you need to invite the members of the club or the guests. This is another part. There is one thing as a VPM you do it for the new members. What it is? Anyone can answer this question.
Induction for the new members.
Exactly, the induction, correct. So when you have a new members, you just need to write the list for these new members, inform the president about it, and you do the induction as a VPM. At the same time, who really work on the guest packets? Do any of you work on the guest packets? I know that we are having online meetings, but I do believe there is a few clubs, they have already started a physical meeting, but I do believe you can have electronic packet to speak about your club. So any one of you using this kind of technique to market your club as a VPM?
Yeah, I am. But actually, there is a link that you can use for on TI, Toastmasters International, that has a whole like page that's just there for prospective members, and it's got a whole bunch of folders and videos and everything that they can click. So it's pretty much like a guest packet, an electronic guest packet, all in one link.
That's interesting. That is interesting. I didn't know about that. So this is a new information.
Did you share the link for that?
Yeah. I was just going to say I'll share it. Hang on.
Share that in the chat box. That will be perfect. Please, as I cannot see your names, if you would love to speak, just open. I can see Faiza would love to speak. Now I can see the name. So Faiza, yes.
Yeah, I was just saying about the guest packet that we have taken the original Toastmasters guest packet and personalized it to put information about our club. And then we give that to prospective members.
That is
also perfect. Created a WhatsApp group for guests because many times people are not sure before becoming a member. So they are always in that thinking stage. So we just keep adding people to the guest group where we just send the invitations and they can join for as many times as possible, because I think online there is no limit, right? For how many times a guest can join.
And even in the physical meetings, there is no limitation.
Oh,
unless it depends on the place itself.
Okay.
It depends on the place, but actually in the physical meetings, there is no certain number that you can have. Like, it depends on the people who really can go to that place and location and attend the meeting. But this is a very nice idea, Faiza, to have a group of the guests. So you can send all the information about the club to send,
and it's not really breathing down their necks, you know, it's not very pushy. they can take it, they want to join,
Exactly,
they can join.
of course,
If not,
of course. Yeah,
that's really
that's
good.
correct. This is a very nice idea to have maybe a group or a broadcasting group, so you can that message can be sent to each person individually, so they will feel that like it's a very special message for that person only. But also the group idea is not bad. It is really very smart way to market your own club. So I do believe you have already answered what you can really do before the club meeting. So anyone would love to share anything before to go on to the next point during the meeting, what we need to do as a VPM. So anyone would love to share another tip? Hi.
Hello.
Hi.
Farm from SSP Club. Just to share with you some impact which happened during the COVID-19 era.
Sure.
Basically, we have loss of the physical meeting, and due to that, there is much more effect on the meetings. Many of our members could not able to join because there are much more importance of the physical meeting rather than the online meeting. So it will be recommended that if everything is perfect, then we have to go through the physical meetings, and it will be perfect for us and other members, because calling to the members on the online meeting, it has no much more interest, and they needs to be joined as a physical meeting. So that is to be organized as soon as.
Yeah, of course. This is like, I think it depends on the country where you are, because I still here in Kuwait, still things, they are not that much open where you can find a good place to meet. But I do believe in Bahrain, and I'm not sure about Iraq and Egypt, if you do have meetings physically or you just have it online. But with time, things will get back to normal. But I do believe here, you as a VPM, along with the XCOM, you need to get with a new ideas how to utilize the online platform, because we have been in a situation, it's out of our control. So in that case, I do believe most of the clubs, they have suffered from this. Okay, so I feel that maybe the XCOM can sit together and try to find a way where they can really make it fun for the people to attract them. One of the things maybe you can do is to have a fun theme. So people, they will be interested to attend the meeting. This is one of the things. But of course, if you have any other techniques, you can do. So now we are done with the part before the meeting, what you have done. During the meeting, what you have to do as a VPM? Anyone would love to share anything? Like the meeting started, or even like we are online before the meeting, which is, this is what I would love to encourage all of you to be in the Zoom meeting like 15 minutes before the actual time of the meeting. So during that time, what you need to do as a VPM before the start time of the meeting? Yes, please. Yes, please.
During the meeting, we are supposed to support our president of the club. I will confirm the attendees. We will take the snapshot of the meeting. It is like our physical meeting. As a membership, I have to get the guest signature as well as the who are coming to attend during our meeting. We will make a separate book to get the signature. These are all the records for our growth of our club, and explain to the guest to invite, to attract. It is one of the marketing to catch up the new members. This is part of our role. This is what we are doing, ma'am. We are from Rising Star Toastmasters Club. Thank you.
Thank you so much, dear. I can see DTM Khalid Jalal raised his hand. So,
thank you very much, our trainer, DTM Ola. I think as a VPM, we will have multiple roles to be played. It's not one role which we need to do. We are the face of the club. So before the meeting of the club, we need to plan who are the prospects which we need to invite to the club. So we need to target that as that's one of the role of VPM to increase the membership and get more prospect to the club. Now, when we have the socializing time before the start of the meeting, during the day of the meeting, is the time when we introduce the guests to all our members and let our members interact with them and attract them with the knowledge they have so that the member is impressed before the meeting actually starts. And once the meeting is done, of course, in virtual meeting, we don't have a break, but after the meeting, a follow-up to be done with the guest to ensure what the reason why we called him, he actually received all the information, and we try to convince him to join again or become a member.
Yeah, that's correct, DTM Khalid. I do believe DTM Khalid have covered the 3 parts, like before, during the meeting, and after the meeting, and this is really very nice. Thank you so much for sharing. Now, upon the arrival, like one of the things DTM, yes, Khalid, yes, DTM Khalid. I can't
No,
see
actually,
that.
I was lowering my hand. Sorry for that.
Okay, sorry. Okay. Now,
Okay.
so these are
May I
the
say
points.
something?
Yes, of course. Please.
Yeah. I think before the meeting, the VP membership should take the list of the guests from all members who are inviting the guest. And during the meeting, when the guest join the meeting, he has to give him a warm welcome and with good gestures and address them with their names.
Yes, that's correct. That's totally correct. And I can see 2 participants. So please just open your mic and speak if you wanted to share anything. So as you can see here, I do believe all of you have answered what we need to do upon or during the meeting of the Toastmaster to greet the guests and make them feel really welcomed, and to provide the guests with the packets if you have any. And already I do believe Sandy, hopefully that she shared the link of the electronic guest packet. Yeah. And of course, if they do have, sorry?
It's in the chat.
That's perfect. Thank you so much, Sandy, for that. And of course, if they have any question to answer it. I have attended one meeting to share my experience as a guest in a meeting in a club in the Maldives. And what I loved, what they have done, because I was the only guest in that meeting, whenever one of the members joined the meeting, the president, or actually could be the VPM as well, but at that time it was the president, were introducing me to that member. So maybe we can use that kind of thing as a VPM. So that guest will feel he or she is part of that family of Toastmasters. Not to feel that, okay, I'm a Toastmasters. By default, we do feel that we are one big family, but still, when you attend a meeting for a new club for the first time, you still feel maybe you are shy a little bit. You don't interact that much with everyone because not everyone know who you are. So maybe that's one thing, because whenever one of the members of that club, he introduced me to that member. So when the actual meeting is started, so everyone in you who are the guests. So maybe this is one of the things that you can use it as a VPN. Now, we are done with our meeting. What we do after the meeting. So already some of you have already shared that we need to contact the guests and we need to answer the questions. And one of you, I'm sorry, I'm not good with the names. One of you mentioned to ask the guests about their opinion of the meeting. And this is really very, very important to ask the guests, because I know that usually the president does that by the end of the meeting, but actually when the meeting is already done, maybe you can send a message in the group or in the broadcast group of the guest to thank them. Thank you for attending our meeting. It was our pleasure to have you in our meeting. We would love to know your opinion about it, because sometimes some people, they may not share all what they think about in front of everyone. Maybe when you communicate with them one-to-one, they will have that courage to share a few points from their point of view. It needs more improvement in the meeting. Do you have any other ideas rather than the ones you see it in this slide? Like what the things can be done after the meeting, if anyone would love to share. Yes, I can see 2 people raising their hands. So just to please open your mic and share your experience with us.
Yes, I think apart from the guests, the first attention should be given to the members. So the VP membership should ask the members their feedback about the meeting, so that if they have any concerns, that could be discussed in the XCOM or in the club as well. So I think the VP membership should discuss individually all the members also after the meeting, that what are their opinion and what improvement or what changes they need to have in the club or in the club meetings.
You are totally correct, because as I already mentioned at the beginning, one of the most important things is to maintain the current member and try to attract new people, because we don't need to forget the people who are already members there. So that is really a valid point that we need to send. Maybe you can create a questionnaire and you can share it with your club members, and to see what the things they would love, what the things they really like in the meetings, what the things they would love to see in the meetings. Maybe things need to be changed in the meetings. So maybe one of the tools, you can use it as a VPM to send a questionnaire about that for the members. And I do believe there's a few clubs they have done that, to know, mainly the VPE educational part, to know about the goals of the members who would love to deliver their speeches and projects and so on, to know where they are and what they wanted to achieve later on. But also a VPM can have your own questionnaire to know what the members like in the meeting, would love to improve, would love to have new ideas in it. So before moving to the next part, anyone would love to share any ideas or experience with us?
Ola, there's a member interest survey that Toastmasters International already has available for us in our resources. That is really nice and helps to find out what our members are interested in and any issues they see in the club. And then also one thing to do after the club meetings is to call on current members who did not show up and had not given an apology, to just make sure everybody's okay, especially during these COVID times, just to, you know, keep in touch with people and make sure everybody's okay.
I totally agree with you. Now, in Toastmaster International website, there are many resources that you can use it as a VPM. But as I already mentioned, you can create your own way. You can create your own style of doing things. So let's move to the next part. So now we are aware of the role of the VPM, what you need to do before the meeting, what you need to do during the meeting and after the meeting. Now, outside the meeting, your role as a VPM, or actually the executive committee, all of them, 7 people, their role is not only in the meeting, but also outside the meeting. Now, these are a few parts here. But what I really would love to concentrate much more on, and I would love to know if you know, the membership building programs. Are you aware of the programs that you as a VPM, you can use it, where you can attract new people to the club? Do you know them? The membership building programs?
Open house.
Could be part of it.
Oh, do you mean like beat the clock and?
Yes.
Okay, Smedley and yeah, okay.
Smedley, beat the clock. Now, Smedley Award. Do you know what is the Smedley Award? The Smedley Award.
Yes,
is,
if you add 5 new members.
Exactly. And during a certain time. They are from
Yes.
the beginning of August till the end of September, if you add 5 new members. Now, what is beat the clock?
2 additional members.
Okay, to have more people in a very short time.
To add the members during the 5 members in the month of May and June.
Yes, that is correct. And there is one thing, it's called Talk Up Toastmasters. What is Talk Up Toastmasters?
Add the members in the month of February and March, 5 new members, 5 members.
No.
Saju.
What is the Talk Up Toastmasters? Talk Up Toastmasters is to encourage the current members to invite guests to the meeting. And actually here, one of the techniques you can use it as a VPM is to do a contest. They call it membership contest. Membership contest, it means that you tell the members of the club that we do have a contest and we will see how many new guests you will be inviting to the meeting. And the winner will get a prize, whatever is the prize is. Maybe you can tell them that there will be a discount in their membership renewal, okay? Maybe you can give them an actual prize. Maybe, I don't know, you can be creative in the way you wanted to give an award for that person. So any one of you does the guest or the membership contest in their clubs? Or have you tried to do such a thing?
Yes, we do try. Yes, we do try.
Okay.
Especially,
you did it?
Yeah.
We have in our perfect.
We have in our clubs this. We announce it with quite a time before, so that the members have ample time to contact their potential guests. And then we have 2 different type of prizes, or we can say motivational prizes. One for those who bring the maximum number of guests into the meeting, and second for them, for those whose guests, the maximum number of the guests become the members of the club. So 1 prize for that person. So in that way.
So what are the prizes? So I will see if I will. What are the prizes you are giving for the members?
Yeah, actually these are not the cash prices, but goodie boxes.
Of course, it's not a cash, but actually it will be like something like maybe like a basket of chocolate, for example. Like for me, chocolate and a coffee will be an amazing gift for me. So now it depends.
We don't give the perishable gifts actually. we prefer to give the unperishable gifts, not like the decoration pieces or some side of that.
Okay.
For the male member, the ties; for the female, the scarves or something like that.
Oh, that is perfect. This is perfect. You see, because when you do such a thing as a VPM, you do create a kind of a very nice environment where the members, they don't feel that they are obliged to get new people, but they would enjoy the process, right? So this is a very nice thing that you are doing. So anyone else does such a thing in their club?
I'm Vijay Bhatia. Can
I?
Okay. Now, a few years ago in the old manuals, so we had doing some leadership roles. So I was not in the executive committee, but I wanted to do that as a project. And I did it by promoting or campaigning for the new membership for the Indian Cup Toastmasters. Now, how I thought could be done is I came out with a contest where I announced in the house, and I later on, of course, email followed. I announced in the house that we are coming out with this contest where members are required to bring the guest to attend the meetings. Now, when you get a guest for the first time, we will give them 10 marks, 10 points, 10 points, right? Okay, there may be, 3 members on that day bringing the guests. So each of them will get 10 points. Okay, there's next meeting which is going to follow. So again, if new members are invited by these people, they will get 10 points for the another new member. And if the same old who has attended the first meeting and attends the second meeting as well, because he is required to attend 3 meetings. So when he attends the second meeting, we will give him 15 points for the same member who has attended the second time. But if he has attended the first time only, then we will give 10 points. So by this time, if 2 members from the earlier first meeting have attended the second time, so they will get the 10 points first and the 15 points second. So 25 points to the, this is not for the guest, this is for the member who has brought the guest.
So it is like a long-term contest. This is so interesting.
It is about 3 to 4 months, sometimes 6 months as well. 6 months as well.
Very nice. I like it.
Yeah, and after that, I tell you, this is not here. It is also third. If they attend the third meeting also, then we give them 25 points. And if they come with the fourth time, when we are actually inducting them, we will give them 50 points. So as they come forward again, they get more points. But by so doing, we had about 12 members who had taken part in bringing guests. So some of them had attended, though the contest was for 3 months, though they attended in the 4th meeting, 5th meeting. So we don't have another 4 meetings to complete the contest, because they're supposed to attend at least 4 meetings. So we allow them another 3 months to complete the contest. So by the end of the period, 6 months, we were able to calculate as to who is standing where. And I myself, being from the Indian club, mother club, I took a special prize from them and presented to 2 members.
Very nice.
And they were really very happy.
Because this is really very interesting idea. Thank you so much for sharing it with us, because I do believe we as a human beings, we are competitive people. We love to win, right? So when you create such a thing in a very nice and a friendly way, I do believe, in this way, you have created a nice environment, not only for one meeting, but actually for a long term, like upcoming like 6 or 8 meetings. So this is very nice. Thank you so much for sharing that part.
There has to be an element of winning here. It is not just taking part. So when you take part, you possibly, are planning to win as well. You see, now I am this time the VP membership. Incidentally, I came out with the same type of contest, but it was online meetings, so it did not work well, and we had to, stop it after 3 months. So I told them later on again, we will see if the time allows, we will re-announce it.
Okay, that is a very great idea. Thank you so much. Anyone would love to share anything before moving on with the next part of what is your responsibility outside the club meeting? So anyone would love to share any other ideas with us? Yes, DTM Khalid. And even if anyone
you
would
always catch me whenever I lower my hand, you catch me at that time.
I'm sorry. I'm sorry, because I cannot see you all. It depends what I can see as a notification.
Okay, I'll just mention about what I do. My role as VPM in 2 clubs, what I do outside is basically plus my overall role, right? That's also counted. So I'll go and preach about Toastmaster all the time to whoever I meet. I'll just see and talk to the person and see there's little interest in the role the person is, the type of job the person does. So I try to bring him to soft skills and then promote Toastmasters, not Toastmasters immediately. I try to catch him in the areas where the interest is and translate it, how it can fit in Toastmasters and how it can help him. And that helps me to get more members to the club. And that also helps me in actually, convincing people or the corporates to, charter clubs. So that's something which I do outside. And that also, and having said that, there are also a few awards which you have created as CGT awards, where we mention the members If you bring 3 members, you will get some awards. If you
write it
each
down,
member
everyone.
bring
Write
one
it
member
down.
to the club. That's another technique which we
There
need to
will be
follow.
prizes.
So there are a lot of techniques which we need to follow. All the clubs are following.
There will be any prizes for the people from the CGD?
Yes, if you bring 3 members, you will get a prize. There is an award. If you bring 6 members, you will get an award. But if you bring 5, you will get a pen from Toastmasters International directly.
Wow.
But if you can't get 5, if you only get 3 or 4, you will get something from our district. So I request all of them to refer to the award list which you have published. It's member level, club level, area level, district level. There are also special awards for presidents, VPEs, and VPMs. So all the VPMs in this group can benefit from that.
Yeah, of course. And already, I do believe you have shared an email for all, the members about this kind of awards from the CGD part. So there are other few things, of course, you can do after the meeting. It's not only with try to catch up with the new members, but also to maintain the members. And at the same time, as I said, you help the Vice President of Public Relations and you help the Vice President of Education as well in promoting the club and to promote the agenda that already the VPE worked on. Now, of course, there are a few other parts where you need to do it in the council meeting, which is part of the area. Now, for if you are really very new, so a few clubs will create an area. So part of the area council, the VPE is a very essential member of that council. So if there will be any kind of voting for any kind of decision need to be taken for the area, your vote is counted. Of course, one of the things that you need to do is to try to have an successor for you who will take up the role in the new year of Toastmasters and to try to have a committee. How many of you have a committee work with you? Or you don't have committee? Or you like to work alone? Because actually for me personally, working alone is not a bad idea. But to have a committee, if you love to work in a team, that will be perfect. Because when you have that kind of committee, by default, indirectly, you are preparing 2 people to be, what do we call it? I forgot the word. But to be eligible to be voted. Sorry, Sandy?
To be your
successor.
Yes, to be eligible, to be eligible or to prepare them to be the VPM. I forgot the exact word that I really want to say, but it's fine. To be eligible to be
successor,
not successor, but actually to be, I forgot the word. Yeah, the vocabulary just ran out of my head. It's okay.
Eligible?
Eligible? It could be, yes. Eligible, it could be work in this part. To be eligible to be a VPM in the coming next year. So in that way, by having a committee, sorry?
Qualified.
I can't hear you.
Qualified.
Qualified, yeah, qualified, yes. To be qualified people to be your successor in the future. So how many of you have a committee?
I have Vijay Bhatia.
Okay, that's cool. So
Indian
you have 2 or 1 person?
3 people.
Wow.
In my absence, they will take care. So
that
at the
is
moment,
amazing.
you will be surprised, at the moment I'm in Mumbai attending this meeting. I have told my person, successor to take over, but he was not able to. So I said, I don't want to lose the DCP point. And we are planning a meeting.
Video open لكن يطلع كاميرا X.
Sorry?
There's disturbance coming from Noor Shakib.
Okay.
Muted, I'm so sorry.
It's okay,
Did
no
you
problem, no problem.
did you hear me?
Okay. Yes, yes, I can hear you. So that is nice, very nice to have people with you who will be your helper. You will be in your place if you cannot be there during the meeting. So I do believe that we have covered most of the things and the important things, and the most important part, you have shared your own experience with all of us. Now, your part in the executive committee is to, as we said about the membership contests, and I do believe we have, like, the members have already shared the great ideas for such contests, and of course, to have a report about the membership to know how many people we do have. I wanted to ask you, how many members do you really need to have as a minimum to be a President Distinguished Club? Do you know how many members we need to have?
Minimum 20.
Exactly. So this is our aim to do. And actually, to have that base of 20 people is not only to be distinguished club, but also to be eligible to complete the DCP point, the distinguished club points that we work on. Now, for the VPM, how many points you work? We have 10 in the DCP, right? How many points you need to fulfill as a VPM? You need to plan for?
2.
2, exactly. To get a minimum of 4 members, so you will have 8 in-year members by the end of the year. Or actually not by the end of the year. No, it depends when you can get, but actually to be registered during the 1 year of the Toastmasters, to have 8 new members. Of course, if you will have much more, you will get many awards from our lovely CGD. Now, after knowing the responsibilities of the PPM, now how we can do them? How? When, who, and what? These are the main questions. So how will you fulfill the responsibilities? Any one of you would love to share with us, how do you prepare for, like, if you prepare for a plan from the beginning of the term till the end of the term as a VBM? You don't do a plan?
It's part of the club success plan.
Yes, that is correct. But you as a VPM, do you, any one of you, have a certain plan? You do it by your own way. Now, the success plan by default, yes, Faiza, I can see you raised your hand.
I don't know if this is considered a plan, but what I have is an Excel sheet of all the members who have, all the guests who have ever come from day one. So I color code them based upon, after contacting them, what is their situation. I tag them based upon interested. Hot means like really ready to become a member. Cold is like, no, they will just be a member. And I categorize them. And after every meeting, I update that database. So anytime I look at it, I have to just look at the color red ones and make sure that I am in touch with them. And then look at the ones which are orange, and I know that, okay, check up on them, follow up. Maybe they have changed their mind. And for example, if someone says, I'm busy for the next 3 months, so I tag it there, that contact after 3 months, and I put a date to it. So I know that after 3 months, I have to get back to them. So something like that helps me in managing so many people who are being contacted on a regular basis.
This is very interesting. Yes, this is a plan that you do. And I do believe this should not only used for the guests, but also for the members. Because we do have a members, but as I mentioned before, not all of them, they do attend the meetings regularly, because they do have certain things and so on. So I do believe we need to have such an Excel, not only for the guests, but also for the members. Thank you so much, Faiza, for that. And you need to have an action plan when this will be completed. So you will know, like, in the first 6 months of this term, I need to have the 8 new members. So this is, we call it, like, you do have a certain an exact time period that you planned for, that you will targeting new members to be added, and you can plan that you will not have it like less than, for example, 25 members. So you will make sure to maintain the members you have at the same time to get your new members. Of course, you cannot do that alone. Whether if you have a committee to help you in doing that thing and to achieve the plan, or of course the executive committee, the other members, to help you in achieving such a goal. Now, what the materials that you can use, already DTM Sandy have shared with us a few resources that herself she is using as a VPM, and this kind of resources can really help you to improve your role as a vice president of membership. Now, the VPM resources already, as I have mentioned, that DTM Sandy shared a few links with us. At the same time, just go and take a look in the Toastmaster International website. You will see many things and many ideas and many resources you can use it. So, of course, it is important one of the things that you can use it, because the resources is not only a material that you take and read, but at the same time, it could be what we are doing now to attend the club officers training, because this is kind of one of the resources. Myself, I have benefited from your ideas that you have shared. I have learned from you. So this is one of the resources you can do. One of the other resources, maybe you can have a chat with the other VPMs of the other clubs. So you can share ideas, because at the end, the main goal of the Toastmasters, it not should be in one club, but in all the clubs, to have like one, it's not the same plan, of course, not the same ideas, but like just to try to share information together. Meet with the outgoing executive committee, which is the new executive committee, and try to share your ideas with them, of course, with the outgoing vice president of membership and your current executive committee. Now, this is like part of what we already have spoken about. This is just telling you, kick off with your plan, inviting new people, have, member survey, as we already mentioned at the beginning, and there is the Moments of Truth session. This is one of the very nice sessions and presentations. You can find it in the Toastmaster International website, that you can share it and present it in your club. So the members will really understand the essence of the Toastmasters, being a member in a Toastmasters, and their role as a members in Toastmasters. And of course, if you can create a kit or even a small paper, even like when we get back to the physical, you don't have to do something so fancy. You can do it in A4 paper to have like one picture of a group picture of your club, and on the other side, you can write an information of your club and the new things, maybe events, maybe like things you would love to announce it for the new members so they can attend this kind of activities that you are planning for as vice president of education. And these are other resources you can use. I would love to encourage all of you to read one of the, it's not here, of course, the Distinguished Club programs, which is related to DCB points, and we have already mentioned you need to fulfill 2 points, and the club success plan already, DTM Sandy mentioned that part. You as a VPM, you need to build that plan of the club. But there is one thing, it's called the forgot, the Leadership Handbook. Leadership Handbook, you will see a detailed information about your role as EM. Sorry? You will see sorry if you can mute yourself, please. So in the leadership handbook, you will see in that handbook it speaks about all the executive committee roles and in detail what you really need to do and what is expecting you from you and the results and all this stuff. So I would encourage all of you to get through this kind of materials and read, because the experience in Toastmasters is not only about we're done. Like, let me just stop sharing. We are not, oh, we are already red. I'm sorry because I was not able to see the timer. But in Toastmasters, it's not only about your own experience. Experience is really very important, but also to be educated and know the information is also important. It's like two parallel things work together to achieve your own goals. Hopefully this session was useful for all of you. I would love to thank all of you for sharing your own experience. Hopefully it was a nice interaction, an interactive session with all of you. I do believe, moderator, how many minutes do we have for the question and answer session?
Thank you, DTM Ola, for this wonderful presentation and training session today. Since we were over time, we can have 5 minutes for question and answers, not more than that.
Okay. Okay. And of course, if you wanted to contact me later on, all of you are welcome. So anyone would love to share something, ask a question?
Let me just tell every officer here presenting here that the attendance link is shared on the chat. Make sure to record your attendance so you can get the DCP point for your club.
Okay, thank you so much.
I have a question.
Yes, please, Toastmaster.
Yes, Hoor. I am a VP of membership in Alexandria Toastmaster Club, Egypt. We are currently facing a situation where new members are flowing in a good number, and the percentage of new members versus old members, because some of the old members did not renew with us. So we're having this deficiency of mentors. And I would like to have your point of view of how to manage this situation. We have like 7 old members and 5 new members, and even the old members who are actually enrolled, they're all busy with either officer roles, and they are engaging in so many activities, or not that active.
Yeah, I understand, Hoor, and I do believe many of the clubs, they went through this. You can have mentors from outside the club, because mentoring is not only inside the club. Because if you have a good relation with the other clubs, and even not from the same country, like if you now we are in the internet and the platform of Zoom thing, okay? So you can even ask people from outside who are available to be a mentor for new members, because mentoring, it is the same steps. It's only the difference in the style of the person or the mentor, how they will mentor the mentee. But how the process goes on is the same thing, because all of us, we are working at the same educational system, which is the pathways. So you can try to approach other people. Maybe if you don't know yourself, if you don't know other people, maybe you can check with the people like in your club, if they know other people who are free to be mentors.
Thank you, I'll do that.
Well, great, Hood. Anyone would love to ask any question? I'm sorry I was not able to check the chat. If you sent anything in the chat, if you can open your mic and ask me, that will be more, efficient for me. So anyone would love to ask any question or to have like a clarification about anything?
Yes, please.
Yes, please.
Yes, if you don't mind, my name is Ahmed Awad. I am VPM of Pakistan Community Toastmaster in Bahrain.
Welcome.
If you don't mind, I need a model of a VPM plan, so I can make something as this model of plan, if you don't mind. Also, as a questionnaire, as you said in your presentation.
Now, I do believe if Sandy, can you send that questionnaire? You have told us that you can see it in the.
I sent it already. Want me to send it again?
You already sent it. Okay. So I do believe, Ahmed, if you will go through the messages shared by DTM Sandy, as I already can see that she has already sent many links that you can use it. At the same time, you can, by default, if you will go to the website of the Toastmaster International and you write it in the search, it will appear to you. At the same time, Ahmed, you can create your own thing. You can create your own way of the plan. Now, already in the Club Success Plan, as already mentioned by DTM Sandy, in the Club Success Plan, there's already designed a plan for all the executive committee and part of it for the VPM. But at the same time, you can create your own thing and you can get the resources from the chat that already shared and from the Toastmaster International website. Anyone would love to ask? I do believe I can have only one question because I
believe I saw Toastmaster VJ raising hand.
Yes, please open your mic and ask me. Please open your mic and ask me. Whoever raised his or her hand, just to please. Is there any other question? Okay, so as
Ola, I don't have another question, but I do have a comment. One of the things that
Sandy, your voice is not clear again.
One of the things that has helped me, can you hear me now?
Yeah.
Okay. And one of the other members mentioned something similar, is using an Excel sheet to keep track. I have two of them. One is for prospective members, and the other is for our actual members. And the people on my committee, one is helping track prospective members and the other is helping to track the current members and whether they're attending or not, and working with the secretary. And when we see that people are not, they're not attending, then, you know, sending them a message, giving them a call, making sure they're okay. And also for the prospective members who have, you know, have they been contacted? How many times have they sent information like the link on Why Toastmasters? Have they attended a meeting? Have they submitted an application? Have they paid? So that you can track it, because, for example, just recently, I had handed a prospective member over to a treasurer, and the treasurer didn't get back to it. And I thought that that was done, and I lost track because I got busy. So, you know, if you, it's better if you can, you know, you go back and you see, oh my gosh, I didn't, that person hasn't, I haven't seen them. Where are they?
Yeah.
And so I figured out that there was a miscommunication, and you know, but because I had the Excel sheet, I was able to keep track.
Yeah, that's a great, Sandy. Yes, I do believe if you have a such Excel sheet, that will help you. Now I need to end the session before Toastmaster Noha do anything, because I saw the angry clock just ringing there. So thank you.
I'm loving the conversation, but I understand also that we have people joining us since 1 p.m. and we need to be
I don't do it. Totally
understanding of their situation.
Yes, I totally understand, Toastmaster
Just
Noha.
to say,
Thank you so much.
to say one more thing, I want to invite all those who are in Bahrain, come and visit our club Toastmasters, Indian Club Toastmasters at the Indian Club premises. We have meeting on every Wednesday, or first and third Wednesday of the month at 7:30 p.m. You all are invited.
Thank you so much for that invitation. So members in Bahrain, go and join that club. And I can see our CGD DTM Khalid Jalal raise his hand.
Thank you very much, DTM Ola. Just want to make a small announcement, which I've been doing earlier also. As a district, since we're all VPMs here and our role is to get more members, as a district, I got the approval from our district director, says all the language clubs, those which are not taking part in the international speech contest, which is the Arabic, English, and Tamil, if I'm not mistaken. So 3 languages. Other than that, all the languages which are there in our district, irrespective of the club, they can, form a group together and have their competition in the respective language. For example, I can see someone here from the Indian club, someone is there from the Sri Lankan club, and so on, or from the Philippine spoken clubs. DTM Manolo is also here. So they can, go together and have some contest in the Philippine language or Sri Lankan language or Hindi language or Urdu language, which we have clubs. So any language, any other language, irrespective of that, they can have some speech competition under their cultural clubs, and those who are the first, second, and third position winners, they will be awarded the first, second, third winner trophy during the DTEC. So it's a good opportunity for you to market your language, market your skills, and also reach out to all the members who are non-Toastmasters, because they will attend the meeting as well. And that will help others to know what Toastmaster is and how it can help them. If they feel it is a good thing for them because they're getting a chance to attend, chances are they will come forward and join your clubs. And then you can take it up as well. So the whole idea is to promote the language clubs in our District 20, which are still not part of the speech contest category. So take the opportunity and let your language be heard by all.
That's great. Thank you so much, DTM Khalid, for this information. So thank you for all of you, and I do believe you can leave the breakout room. I will leave it myself. And of course, if you have more questions, you can approach me anytime. Thank you so much, and it is the end of our session. See you.
Thank you very much, everyone. Please put your hands together for DTM Ola. Rasheed, it's been a very educative session. I enjoyed the conversation from behind the screen. Thank you very much. And everyone, if you did not record your attendance, please do. If you have any if you have any problem, I'm staying for a little bit, like 2-3 minutes in the room until I'm sure that everyone is done and left. And with that, enjoy the rest of your evening. Thank you.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much, Toastmaster Noha. Thank you, all of you, and see you. Don't forget to register your
next meeting.
Thank you all. Bye-bye.
Thank you.
Bye.
Bye.